in plain sight for all to see, yet they go completely ignored by the general public. One of the most common forms of black magic we are subject to is called lesser magic. Lesser magic, in its most basic form, is the implementation of the magician's will through the use of applied psychology and manipulation tactics.
The thing is, you speak for a consensus of reality which is acceptable. We speak for one which at this point in history is not acceptable. So it's just a question of who manipulates the media, who has the most money to put their reality forth.
A 49-year-old unidentified man went berserk last night.
Where does she get her view of the world?
Shotgun. 14 people are dead, including 3
Who will be her role models?
Never been a better time to buy.
What values will she have? Whose child is she? Yours or the network's? Take back your children. Turn off the TV.
Predictive programming, subliminal messages, and subliminal manipulation are all widely used today and can be found in just about every form of entertainment.
Right now on Fox 5 News at 10. Back we are now with a Fox 5 News exclusive.
A message of hate found at a pop.
John McCain.
A major U.S. Daily story about subliminal messages. I don't think we need to be subliminal.
Have you ever been fascinated by something? A movie, a TV show, a music video, a painting, or a song? If you answered yes, there is a high likelihood that you have fallen victim to lesser magic. Quote, "The word fascination has an occult origin. Fascination was a term applied to the evil eye. To fix a person's gaze, in other words, fascinate, was to curse them with the evil eye." End quote. Now, there are two main schools in modern occultism: practical Kabbalah and Eastern mysticism. With many offshoots, most of them will fall under these two categories. The Kabbalah can be seen as the actual science of the occult. It is the secret theology that boils down to a few basic principles, and they are all satanic in nature. You see, Kabbalists believe that our God, Yahweh, the God of Israel, and Jesus Christ himself are the embodiment of evil, while worshiping Lucifer as the true God of creation. It's the exact same upside-down theology that was presented to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. The Kabbalah teaches magic, or the art of intercourse with spirits and supernatural beings. One cannot be a convinced Kabbalist without soon becoming a magician and devoting oneself to the practice of occultism. Not that all Kabbalists or magicians practice all the different branches of occultism. Some of them are used by charlatans for the exploitation of a superstitious person, but a great many, precisely the most criminal and perverse, are observed in the hidden dens of modern Luciferians. End quote. Ritual magic has two major disciplines. Now keep in mind that all of these methods are considered an abomination to God and should be avoided at all costs. First is divining magic. Divining magic consists of the following: astrology, which is divining the future from the stars through the use of horoscopes; aeromancy, which is divination by the study of aerial phenomena, specifically cloud formations; palmistry, divining the future; from reading the lines on one's palm. Hydromancy, divination by studying liquids and how they are affected by thoughts and words. Anthropomancy, which is a, quote, horrible, savage abomination and consists of disemboweling a human being, then spreading out the entrails for the purpose of divining the future. Druids in ancient Britain were said to consult their gods by looking into the entrail of their captives, end quote. Pyromancy, divination by fire. Onirocritics, which is divining the future through dream interpretations. And finally, we have cartomancy, which is divination by cards. Now we move on to operative magic. Luciferians worldwide have been using these methods since the beginning of time. These rites are easy to identify as they all share the same basic principles. The first on our list of operative magic is alchemy. Originally called Hermetic science, named after the god Hermes, alchemy uses spiritual power to physically change or transmutate one thing into another. Historically, it was used to create elixirs and potions that were supposed to, quote, increase a person's life. Next up, we have mesmerism. Magnetic mesmerism is the black magic equivalent of MK Ultra. Using sorcery, one is able to gain control of a person's mind, implanting whatever thoughts and ideas they deem necessary. The aim is a fractured personality which can be turned on and off at will, essentially creating a golem which does the deed of the magician. This is found in the majority of SRA victims. Next we have necromancy and theurgy. Necromancy is the practice of evoking the spirits of the dead, and theurgy is his supernatural assistance in the life of a living person. Quote, the experience of theurgy and necromancy are always disastrous to those who indulge in them. When one has stood on the threshold of the other world, one must die, and almost invariably under terrible conditions. First, giddiness, then catalepsy, followed by madness. It is true that the atmosphere is disturbed, the woodwork cracks, and the doors tremble and groan in the presence of a certain persons after a series of intoxicating acts. Weird sounds, sometimes bloody signs, will appear spontaneously on paper or linen. They are always the same and are classed by magicians as diabolical writings. The very sight of them induces a state of convulsion or ecstasy in the medium who believes themselves to be seeing spirits. Thus, Satan, the spirit of evil, is transfigured for them into an angel of light. But before they will manifest, these so-called spirits require sympathetic excitement produced by sexual intercourse on the part of their devotees. Hands must be placed in hands, feet on feet. They must breathe in each other's faces. These acts often are followed by others of an obscene character. The initiates, reveling in these forms of excess, believe themselves to be the elect of God and the arbiters of destiny. They are the successors of the fakirs of India. No warning will save them. Theurgy is the highest degree of occultism. Necromancy is limited to the summoning of dead souls, but the theurgists of the 19th century evoked the entities qualified by them as genii, angels of light, exalted spirits, spirits of fire, etc. In their meetings scattered throughout the world, they worship Lucifer. The three mysterious letters J, B, M that the common initiate sees in Masonic temples are reproduced in meeting rooms of the Luciferians, but they no longer mean Jachin, Boaz, Mahabone, as in the lodges. In theurgy, these three letters mean Jesus, Bethlehemitus, Malicticus. Theurgy is therefore pure Satanism, end quote. Moreover, it is important to note that Kabbalists admitted to the mysteries of theurgy never mention the word Satan. They look upon certain dissident adepts who invoke the devil under the name of Satan as heretics, whose system they call Goetia or black magic. They call their own practices theurgy or white magic. End quote. They go by many names and claim separation from each other based on fundamental differences. However, they're all initiates of ancient Babylonian mystery schools, practitioners of the kindred rites. They deliberately glorify Lucifer as the principle of good, while believing our God, Yahweh, as the principle of evil. This ideology can be found in many.
Yeah. So, appreciate y'all for watching, man. You see that shit ties to pretty much everything, from logos to music to everything. They use that shit to control you. They use it to control us, which that's okay. But once we know how the game is going, man, we can wake up out of it and grow and develop out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's your motherfucking boy Big Bad A, man. This is the Real Talk Real Shit podcast. Thank y'all so much, man. Like, share, and subscribe, man. This is a good ass message that needs to be spread. All right, let's get it.